Gnosticism is Gnosticism. And the editor is Robert A. Siegel, S-I-G-A-L, The Allure of Gnosticism. And it's going to explain you, and they got a whole section in here on modern nihilism, which is actually chaos magic to reprogram the brain. Another book you want to get is a book called Condensed Chaos. Condensed Chaos. Chaos is the black dye I just showed you. What is condensed chaos? Melanin, because it's condensed into your brain. So you need to get a book called Condensed Chaos by Phil Hine. H-I-N-E, Phil Hine. And in that book, it's going to tell you how to rebel against all of the lower creation because you are God and you're trying to get out of this body. And by rebelling, by putting the thought up in here, you are giving the energy to this black dot seed, and the melanin is like a Rubik's Cube. You ever see, you got a person, he takes the Rubik's Cube and he figures it out based on his mind. So the knowledge here is shaping the Rubik's Cube in your head, which forms the star, the tetrahedron, the Merkaba. All these words is all talking about black dot. You see what I'm saying? So the key is, the more time you lend to learning, is the more energy you give the melanin. We thought that, you know, we are conscious people, but we have to do things in the physical to be conscious. Fuck giving a nigga a quarter. Fuck hugging black people. All that shit will make you feel good personally. But this is a world that is through. It's finished. You can't change this shit. Let's quit romanticizing that shit. This shit is over. If anything I'll tell you, this is over. So therefore, we talking about getting to the next plateau. And you do that through gnosis, knowledge, knowing. And not only just knowing, see, the reading is good, but sometimes you just got to sit back and just give yourself time to think and figure this shit out. So you don't just bury yourself in the book and read a whole book. You might read a paragraph or two. Just, you know, and then sit back and just figure shit out. And do more talking to yourself. You have a higher self. And how you tap into that higher self and get that higher self in the notion that knowing that it is alive is to talk to yourself. This society tells you talking to yourself is crazy. Talking, but you let everybody talk to their damn self. Why would you talk to yourself if nobody else in that bitch? Talk to yourself more. Also, at this particular time, separate yourself from around dead people. Why? I got some good friends. I love them to death. But they might come around us, they might come in town for a weekend. And every time they come in town for a weekend, we get sick. Why is that? The physical is a cheat. You don't understand what's going on. The more you understand and the more and more you grow in what is called gnosis or knowledge, the divine knowing, the more you disappear from this dimension and you go on different levels of dimension. So you can be in the same body, it can be in 3 or 4 different dimensions from a person who's dead in another dimension. So a lot of times when a dead person comes around, because they don't understand the knowledge that you're trying to get to, you have to suspend your knowledge for a while just to accommodate that dead person. person, you got to go back to another dimension that you came from. And because your body is is going to another dimension, it's not conducive to the foulness of that dimension, and you get sick. Just by being around motherfuckers who ain't got the same life. Because that means that you have to shut down your energy to go to that energy. And when you do that shit, you get sick. So every time they come, I catch a cold. I was like, damn, I was catching a cold in fucking August. Holla at August. Took vitamin C, took echinacea, shit didn't work. Because the energy, I was in another dimension. It was just like being back in Niggerville with no shoes on, outside at down 30 degrees below. So, separate yourself from those who are not of the same energy.
Now, we are unbreakable, which means now you are metamorphosizing on a certain level. Which means now you can get cut on your hand and it'll heal up within a couple of days. Anybody ever been experiencing this stuff? And now, aches and pains, if you just hadn't been conditioned to think that, oh, I'm just getting old. You know, aches and pains now, you can basically stop and get rid of and heal with your mind in a rapid amount of time now, more than ever. So now it's basically, you can do this shit in 1 day process. Go into your mind and heal this thing. Or get mad enough and say, I want it out of here, and you can heal it. That's because gradually we have mutated into a new human being and we don't know it yet. And the whole concept here is for society, which is still set on the European basis, is to tell you that we are still humans in 1975. When you have already gone to another level, especially if your consciousness has got to count for something. Why are you conscious? If you are conscious mentally, that means it has to have something to deal with the physical. You live here as a man thinking, so is he. So that means that if you are conscious now and you're thirsting for knowledge now, that means that it has to trickle down in the genes and the cells. So therefore that means you are the new super being, you just don't know it yet. And that means that they're working harder to retard your process and your progress. They had been with him all previous lifetimes up until now, because they were talking about thousands of years ago. And when he came back psychically hooked up this time, they decided to get in touch with him. But by him being in Islam or whatever, he thought they were evil. So as a result, he was trying to get them off of them, but you know, they were literally saying we was your boys and we trying to hang out with you or whatever. We the motherfuckers had your back. You see. And so in so many words, what I'm trying to say is and this is one of the keys on why I've been dealing with the dark side for the last year, focusing on this stuff, because this is the actual power that we need to align with, that is the very same power that we have been taught to be afraid of. Right. So anything that you see is wicked and evil, that's the motherfucking shit to run to.
I also have seen it stop when I was about 3 years old.
Yeah, you see, so basically in so many words, these things, they will become commonplace once you accept the reality of it. And basically, it's no more than who we are. It might not be nothing but a reflection of your own self. You see, it's like one brother, he was getting his PhD in political science, but he's all into the social revolution, black power struggle, the Pan-Africanist, this and that. But this brother cannot perceive anything spiritually because his mind has been programmed for every political, social, economical struggle. So when I was talking to him, he was like, I'm having problems perceiving what you're talking about. I said, because you got to change your program. I said, you program for logical, rational, hard case, white man's mind. I said, so the more and more you start dealing with things that's far out, crazy, weird, the more and more these things will become commonplace. And so when you hear these things, they won't mean no more than just like turning on the water. It's normal. So what you got here is the normal function of what spirit really is. You see what I'm saying? That you have been trained away from to be evil. And that's what we're going to really get into today also, is that particular aspect of it. You see what I'm saying? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of the death, I shall fear no evil. Job is only dealing with his own damn demons, which in actuality is his true nature. So Job is actually the Christ story too. You see, the Christ story too. So on one hand, we got to stop thinking like a damn human.
Yes, sir. That's right.
And we are in the authority to understand that everything that's been fucked up with us around here, the least thing I got to worry about is a damn spook. Bring that shit on me. It might be a good damn high, some good herb to put on my goddamn spaghetti. But please, what the hell you catching in goddamn Motor City, this damn bitch? That should align your ass and say, hey, any shit that's spooky, hey, I'm down with it. You see, but see, you must understand that based on the slave mentality, and not talking about you, but based on one of the main things of the Willie Lynch laws of let us make a slave is number one, let us make a child. That's basically what it is. And a child has fears. And basically, let us make us be afraid of everything. So that whole thing about niggas get scared, the big eyes and all that shit, and they keep showing you that in the movies because that's what the Willie Lynch laws is. First of all, the Willie Lynch thing is not no one person. Willie Lynch is a spokesman for the main secret society. He's the person that's bringing the address under the behest of the secret society. So this is policy for the United States government in its slave production program. You see what I'm saying? For 300 years. You see what I'm coming from? So one of the things of a slave's mind is fear. That's it. That's it. That's the difference between, even when we talk about some people say, well, why don't you get on a bigger business scale? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you do some shit miraculous? I'm talking about, you got enough money, why don't you take that money and say, fuck it. See, first of all, if a black person got $100 million or got $10 million, he's in a position to lose the bitch and still be normal the next day. Because everybody around him poor. What you got to lose? I can take this $10 million and invest the bitch. And if I lose it tomorrow, shit, what? I'm just going to get me a Coca-Cola. Be the same nigga I always was. But because of the fear that's put in us, we don't take no chances. This is on basic mundane business. We only gonna do it so much, and I got my money, I'm gonna hold on to it, and nobody else can get nothing. All because we don't take no chances. You see what I'm saying? And the chance means, fuck it, if I'm broke, then you got more than somebody else. If you broke tomorrow, so what? Every nigga broke. You see what I'm saying? But so my point is that what we're talking about, that's what has happened with us is the fear. And the fear is put into us also too, because it's not only just the white boy, it's the gods too, because it's in the actual mythology. The fear is so you don't never really look at yourself and find out what you are. The Damians or the demons is who we are. And we'll get into that closer today so you'll understand. We're not talking about anything spooky, is just that you far removed from what this stuff originally meant. You see what I'm saying? And that's one of the things we're talking about, that fear. And you are people from Europe, and your home is Europe. And you take a land from people, wouldn't that be a terrorist act? And why is it the white man's vile behavior to take over the world and kill everybody is not considered a terrorist act? But anybody who opposes this man's sinister activity is a damn terrorist. See what I'm saying? Now here some people came and took a people's land. Yeah. You was in Europe. You have nothing to do with that land whatsoever, and nobody never opposed him, and anybody oppose them, you wrong. But that's not a terrorist act. Why is it what you do shit is act of born courage, and when other motherfuckers do it that ain't white, it's terrorism.
Ain't going to the name terrorist.
You see what I'm saying? You know, and America has the audacity to say anything, and they up in the people's land killing them wholesale right now, babies and children. And people don't understand this. You know what I'm saying? But mind control is a motherfucker, because they say I'm right when I'm wrong, and people buy that shit.
The person that you might be fucking around with when you get, it's always, it don't never be the person that you directed to. I want to fall in love with you, and you can't never fall in love with them. It'll be the motherfucker that you don't want to fall in love with that you fall in love. That already let you know that this is some kind of beast, some type of entity, something beyond your control. You know what I say? I love this person, but I don't want to be in love with this person. You ever had that shit?
Yes.
I know you women can agree with that shit.
Yeah.
I love this motherfucker, but I don't want to be in love with him. This motherfucker deranged. That's because it's an entity that is above your own individual choice. Because your own individual choice can be based on how you were indoctrinated to view things. And that can be society and socialization. So it's a catalyst that goes on. Now, I was talking to Dr. John Hemmitt Clark's wife, his last significant other. And right after 9/11, we had a conference in Detroit. And I was telling her about the book. I got his name, Lee something. It's called Love is a Fire. It's the name of the book. I was telling her about this book. And I said, you know, the love, and the brother C. Freeman was saying the same thing based on the Sutra teaching, is that that person might be a catalyst for the love. But where you don't understand the love here is, the love, once the heart chakra opens, the love is on the inside of you, and it no longer has anything to do with that person. You just think it is because you've been socialized into thinking, oh, I love you, I can't live without you. Once the heart chakra opens, it is on the inside of you. Now check this shit out. It's on the inside of you, and then I found out this about this mystery. Once it opens, you can take this thing that's inside of you, and you can give it to who the fuck you want to. So the first thing when I meet a motherfucker, it might be that same night I go, I love you. And the baby say, God damn it, I can feel that shit. What the fuck you doing? You just met me. How can this be true? She said, I can feel it. I said, I love you. And so she said, well, how can this be true? She said, I'm feeling it. She said, I'm feeling it. And I said, but the key here is, now this all has to do with the blood pressure shit. We're going deeper into these mysteries. So the key here is, she said, well, how can you do that? She said, how can you tell me you love me? I said, I love you. Now, I could just tell her for this one night, and it should be real. Because she said, God damn, last week you told me you love me, and I could feel it. She said, I can feel it. She said, you ain't saying it this week. How can you love me last week? Well, the first thing I did was I've gone to that particular level whereas you ain't gonna, I want to hear a goddamn man say he love you. That's some hard, he has to be deep into the shit. You know, whipped before you get that out of him. Not the first damn night. I said, baby, I'm telling you right now, my love, cut to the chase and avoid the rush. I love you. She said, I'm feeling the shit over the phone. I said, yeah, dude, I love you. Now, I'm not playing a pimp game with you. I'm dealing with Sufi teachings. This is the teachings. So what happened was in the mystery system, we had a vast library, but certain things went to certain people. So some of the mysteries of love
The Sufis cultivated that. Some of the martial arts was cultivated in the black land and moved on up into Asia. Everything that you got around the world that you see that these people are masters of was cultivated. It was originally formed in the African mystery schools. Both West Africa and East Africa. That's the difference now. Because we have a whole tradition of Ifa, which was an advanced mystery school before it's been relegated down to a religion. So you became Oshun. Now I'm going to drop some shit on you right now. Okay, y'all just bear with me. Y'all all right?
Yes.
So what I am talking about here is, I'm not putting no pimp game on you. I'm trying to show you the divine mysteries. Why? Because I was so goddamn broke until I ain't had nothing to do but to learn the divine mysteries. I ain't had shit else. I ain't had nothing else distracting me. You know what I'm saying? It was a rush before the goddamn lights was cut off. So I had to learn something. So I took that shit serious. That's the good part about it was the brokest man in the Western Hemisphere and shit like that. I didn't have no distractions. I didn't have to worry about no motherfucking goddamn 8-cylinder or nothing. Because I was broke. So I tapped into the mysteries. So, now dealing with this science, I opened the heart chakra. When I opened the heart chakra, the first thing I did was, I said, now, two things. I can rationalize this bullshit, justify it, and take all types of reasons of logic in my head on why I'm feeling this way based on the other person. But I'm going to try something different because I'm a spiritual man and I know the initiation is I got to go further with this thing. So what is happening in the height of 10 years of lecturing and going up these mysteries and trying to find this shit? Why do I find myself in this thing here overnight? It just didn't happen like I started talking to somebody and over the course of months it developed into this thing. No, this shit happened one day. I got up and had to call this sister and she called me, and at the end of the conversation we was in love. That's what John Bain's book is talking about. It's talking about astronomical shit that hits. And it's an alchemical lineup that opens up the heart chakra. You know, they ain't got shit to do with the other person other than she was the catalyst or he was the catalyst. Now listen to me what this stuff, what we're dealing with here now, because this is very serious shit. Because we're dealing with the heart of metaphysics tonight, of the occult realms. And we're dealing with not just a theory. We're dealing with know-how now because I done went through the damn shit. So I'm just reporting my finds in the land of fucking goddamn insanity. The only difference between me and a madman is I'm not mad. Think about this now. These people are coming up on camera on C-SPAN. We gotta be smarter than what we are. We're not analytical people. And these people are coming up on the camera on C-SPAN and they got flash what this person is and what this person does. You ain't figured out yet this was a roll call. Made in video or digital whatever. A digital roll call for who's who of niggas to track or whatever. Now here it is, this is a government TV show. And they got your dossier coming up before you, which means that they had to turn all that in for them to do it. You see? Now let me drop on this here. What was said in 1995, United States government, or what you call the IRS, told Farrakhan that they were going to indict him on $5 million, and he was supposed to be indicted 1 week after the Million Man March. On that day, that Monday that it was on, he was supposed
indicted the next Monday. Went to the Million Man March, passed the bucket, made millions, paid the United States government off.
This was the first march?
First march. So this one was millions more march, because he get ready to retire in Africa. You see what I'm saying? He get ready to retire in Africa. You see. So what he does, he give you a big football jamboree of nothing. Bunch of niggas running off at the mouth to be seen. It's an ego fest. And he getting paid, laughing all the way to the bank. Millions more march. Meanwhile, they got a dossier of everybody that went up there. You see what I'm saying? In the nation's capital, on C-SPAN, government installation.
Couldn't there also be said to have been a distraction from what they're really doing since Katrina, what that whole thing was about?
Yeah, I mean, okay. Spiritually, for everything that has an action has a reaction. On the spirit world, it was the gathering of the souls. Only for one reason. Because those people, black people, didn't know the conspiracy behind it. So therefore, it was great both times. You got to understand that. You see what I'm saying? It's like Kwanzaa. Government invented. But spiritually taken over by drinking, because they don't know nothing about the government aspect of it. And so therefore it's ours. Huh? I mean, Martha Luther did it, but there's all kinds of conspiracies on what happened and stuff, and why he created it. But it don't matter. Black people believe in it, they took it over, and we made it spiritual. We made that no good religion, Christianity, spiritual. We wouldn't even be talking about it if it wasn't the nigga jumping up with them tambourines. I saw some niggas on there when they start doing that stuff there. They done put some juice to that stuff. So on one hand, those was also a form of the gathering of the souls. They had to do with Farrakhan. Farrakhan is getting the payday. You see what I'm saying? Well, he brought it off and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? And because the people didn't know and really didn't care. You see what I'm saying? On the other round, it becomes the gathering of the souls. So I'm finding out now that everything that happens, no matter how conspiratorial it is, in the spirit world, it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen. You see. Because I'm not thinking on the mundane level, and I can give you years and years of the conspiratorial thing about how a nigga ain't nothing, but on the other hand, it's all good. Even down to the so-called people. I was on the train and seeing them, seeing them people out there, seeing them two sisters and this brother acting a fool. But don't you know, like I said, don't you know that's a decoy for white folks? Because when they look at those people and see how savage they act, they will never think that we will unseat them. And we can go with ease conspiring against them now. And plotting our strategy, because guess what? They're going to kick us out the pasture. Nobody believes in us. And that's the way the spirit does. Those people are there as decoys. And the more you got of them, the more and more we can go and do what we got to do. And that's the way the spirit world. They say these people are blocking for you as the idiots. But that's a smoke screen so you can get your thing together. You see what I'm saying? That's how this thing works. So I'm finding out now everything is beautiful. You see what I'm saying? Everything is beautiful in the aspect is A. Because the spirit world, you know, it's supposed to be the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. Now they're trying to get the Hispanics in California
and the blacks fighting against each other. See what I'm saying? Two Negroes fighting against each other. See what I'm saying? Because whether they like it or not, them the Native Americans, what's left of them? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And you know, and some of them are darker than most light-skinned people walking around here. But I'm saying they pitting us together with that, you know, that thing. Some of them fools, a lot of them fools got melanin. It takes 5 seconds for you to get rid of it. Because once you break it, it's over.
That's right.
So I'm not saying that you're supposed to not have money, but I'm saying you're supposed to look at that only as a tool, a utilitarian tool of survival.
Yeah.
But to think that it makes you who you are is a different story.
Right. Right.
A different story. That's an illusion.
Right. To be defined through it,
you
as
be
opposed
defined
to using it as a tool.
Right.
To make certain things come about, so you can get more.
Don't use it as an identity.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Use it as a path.
Right. To get your shit done.
Right.
Okay. Oh, so now Jesus, this woman at the well, she was a Samaritan woman. He talks to some woman at the well. Do you remember this story?
And what happened?
He prophesizes for her. You know, like I didn't grow up on this shit, so it comes up.
Does anybody know?
Anybody knows the story? You guys know the story? Samaritan woman at the well with Jesus. He prophesizes. I can't
remember. I know it, but my brain is much.
Well, remember now the well is symbolic of the well of souls. So the well of souls is the same as the lion's den. You see what I'm saying? And the dragon's lair, the well of souls. A well is something that goes deep down. Here goes again. That's the root chakra. You see what I'm saying? At the well of souls. So whatever this particular person is, I'm quite sure it has something to do with either in the metaphysical thing. It's the well of souls in the Sumerian woman in the metaphysical aspect, and Jesus is nothing but the fountainhead of the Sumerian woman rising up out of the well of souls.
Find her own answers.
Find her own answers and her own illumination by being trapped in the well of souls. That's a metaphysical aspect of it and stuff. You see, which later on will give you this dramatic. Physical aspect of it and stuff, you see.
And what was interesting, I don't remember the stories, but whatever it was so profound to this woman when she was finding out these stories about her family, her son, shit she needed to do. And it gave her answers. So that's exactly, I mean, that goes, I don't remember the story, and I'm sure it's in, but I did write down where you can get it. It's John, the 4th chapter, 5th verse to 43, I guess that's how
it's just another illuminations part.
Right. So you can read the story yourself in John, the 4th
Jesus
chapter.
is nothing but the soul inside of your body, which is in the well.
Which is the root chakra.
Which is the root chakra, which is a feminine chakra. That's the woman.
Okay, so Jesus teaches on the mountain. Jesus raises the dead.
Teaching on the mountaintop, is called Mount Manu it's called Mount Olympus. Mount Manu in India. The mountaintop is the pineal gland. And once the pineal appears in the mountaintop, the dead are raised through it, because the dead is nothing but the ancestral souls coming up to their final place. You saying teaching on the mountains, well, obviously talking about a person that's enlightened to teaching even teach.
Level,
and he said that he is called the person who redeems soul by giving them a call. He calls them forth by waking them up with this particular message.
You can only do it from a high
point. So
point.
you said, somebody, you saying, I'm a preacher, if I'm Jesus. No, they're talking about consciousness. Your consciousness will raise you up
from the dead.
That's called the Christ consciousness.
Alright, so Jesus, there's a big story. It always comes up. Jesus, he feeds many people, the little bit of fish that turns into fish, and the water in the wine story.
Okay. The fish, the water into wine, that's alchemical.
Of course.
You see, taking something of original state and turning it into
Lead
something.
to gold thing.
like to go a fermentation, any type of fermentation, water into wine. You see what I'm saying? Is the alchemical act of taking something original and making something new out of it. Because they said, some people say that it also said that Jesus said, "I am the vine and the wine."
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I am the vine and the wine. But look at your body. Your body is what? How many percent water?
Right.
Huh? 75% water. And if it's going to have a transformation and illuminate, it's going to turn into a fermentation wine. You see, and wine is through the wine is also called the blood of Jesus. So the alchemical components of the melanin in the central nervous system raises up and turns all of the stuff in the body, including the moisture, into a fine dew and a distillation into this wine of these spirits. They call it the distillers. A winery or a liquor house or a distiller, they distill what? Substances, certain substances into what? Certain fruits, certain grains, certain parts of nature into what? Spirits. You see what I'm saying? So he said, "I am the wine," which Dionysus is the god of the wine and strong drink. That's where it comes from, and stuff like that and all. You see, in that particular aspect, and I am the wine and the vine. You see, and the water being coming into wine, the physical body, which is 75% water, illuminating into the final product, which is wine. This represents alcohol, which alcohol just represents spirits, spiritus.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Okay, so now the next one I have is Jesus heals the sick, but that was already answered. All of that.
Well, they say he has healing in his wings. Well, the staff of Tahuti raises up, and the first thing happens is when the Kundalini raises up, it purifies the body, and it purifies the body, and what it does is it actually just burns up the disease.
Right. Okay.
Which is the Kundalini energy, and you will see Pegasus, the horse with the winged horse. You'll see the wings and the staff of the Caduceus. Jesus with healing in the wings.
So basically raising Kundalini, which represents Jesus, is a healing
in the wings.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, now I heard you talk about this a lot, and it just goes good. You know, this will be a repeat, but under this umbrella. Jesus riding the ass. I can't remember what town it was, with the Palm Sunday, but he's riding the ass and
the donkey.
The donkey, and you reference it to Set and all of those, all those things.
Okay. To give you one aspect, let me give you the philosophical aspect. The donkey is Set. Jesus rides into Jerusalem. Jerusalem means Jerusalem, which means it's the soul. Jesus rides on Jerusalem on a donkey, on an ass. The donkey in the golden ass of Apuleius, which is a book. Apuleius is turned into a donkey, and Jesus, in this particular case, Isis, who is the savior, Isis, who is the savior, comes about, and what she does is she rescues him. And Apuleius turned into a donkey and being rescued, Isis has to intervene and rescue him. In so many words, the donkey also represents the stubborn physical state of bondage of the physical body.
That wanting to be in this.
Right. Now Jesus rides into Jerusalem on the ass. Well, he rides to Jerusalem on the ass because it means he is raising himself up to the Jerusalem level inside of a physical body, which represents the ass. Set Typhon just represents the fallen primal forces that was turned into the physical, which is represented as the donkey and the ass, the stubborn. The body is stubborn only means that it is stubborn in the aspect that it does not
want to give up this
shit. It doesn't want to give up, and it doesn't want to give up to the physical laws. It likes, and it's the ego which drives it, and it's very stubborn, and it says, I want to be physical, and I want to exist.
Look cute.
That's the donkey. You see what I'm saying? The physical body itself loves the physical because it is physical and it wants existence. So it, in its lowest state, it rarely gives up spiritual aspect. But the most illumined soul rides into Jerusalem on an ass. But remember, Jerusalem, Heru Salam, Heru in peace, which means it's the final product.
So
or the house of Heru.
He's illuminating and controlling this physical.
Right, but he carries. They say bear your cross. Well, bear your cross and the ass is the same because the cross is the physical body. If you take your body and put your feet together and like that, that's the cross. Right. Your physical body. So they say bear your own cross. It means you have to stay into the physical body until you can illuminate.
So Jesus being nailed to the cross?
Nailed to the cross means he's stuck inside of his physical body.
Freemason, you that riding the donkey.
Riding the donkey. That's the physical laws, and you have to give over to the physical laws and kick that off. The cocoon has to be destroyed. That's the donkey. That's the physical body. Right. Riding into Jerusalem on a donkey.
It's mastering.
And it's mastering that. But so when you master something, what happens?
You conquer it.
You conquer it. You synthesize it. He becomes it. So Jesus mastering Satan, which means he is only mastering the primal part of his own essence. Illuminating it. And when you go break it back down to the scientific part, it's the alchemical process undoing itself and transmutating into a new essence, and that's the mastery. The black Isis must be turned into the white Isis.
Okay, I want to take a little sidebar real quick just to address this because it's the biggest thing since fucking sliced bread. Just Jesus, he's burnt in the fire of affliction, hair, wool, feet of bronze. That means he's black. Everyone says, well, that's the be all, the end all, the badge for this thing. We already uncovered that there's a principle. Yeah. But from the historical standpoint, niggas is walking around, he's black because of that.
He's black because of that. Well, number one, he's black because the simple fact is just like the movie X-Men told you. That the mutation process takes years and years and the process is very slow. We are the only people on the earth old enough and original enough to even make that phenomenon happen. That's the first thing.
Right.
That's
the mutation process.
The mutation
for just based upon this concept of time.
Exactly. Now I'm going to come to the defense of this. That there was a social, political, and economical element that happened in writing in the Bible. So I'm not going to rule out the fact that when they give that characteristic, that those writers at that particular time was not talking about a black man, because you got to understand something here. The ancient world didn't look at racism as we do now.
Right.
That's something that came years later. You understand what I'm saying? You got to understand the concept of the model of the time, even in latest Roman times, of who was the person that was still looked up to. And even with some of the people in the ancient world, the black man at that particular time was still looked up to. You see what I'm saying? Even in later times. You see what I'm saying? So the concept of modern racism would not have been a part of the landscape to where you could actually have someone omitting the identity of the person that they thought was the most Christly people. It wasn't a historical person. But when they looked at when they looked at the concept of the embodiment of what would be a person that would be the closest person, it would be Christ, they only still at that particular time only had a model
of what
was the greatest things that happened in their lives. In that particular case, it was the achievements of black people. You understand what I'm saying? So even in first of all, the stories and stuff that they did get now, they didn't write them up. They adopted these stories and they copied these texts from ancient sources. You understand what I'm saying? So some of these particular priests all understood with this whole thing based on alchemy that they're going to teach themselves later that they have to also be a black form also, which the black man, even as far as the Knights Templars, which is way later in the book The Sufis by Robert Graves and Idris Shah, talked about that the most complete man, especially around the time of the Moors, was the black man. So this was more of a cultural thing of the ancient world, that the archetype of what they was thinking was most complete would have been somebody of a darker hue. Right. Because at that particular time, just like now, we are very skeptical of the people that we see bumming on the streets and locked up in the jails and being capable of being people that's revered as the highest level of society. So the tables are turned now. We don't think much about black people. Well, you got to understand the social phenomenon that went down in those ancient worlds, that the most of the people that they saw that were white were in lethargy and was a dreg type of person. Right. See, the tables was turned. Historically, up until that particular point of those particular people who wrote it, and it's very rare because they were saying that that the Romans even considered themselves at some time even to be black, and especially the Greeks. You see, so there's a whole lot of history that has been uncovered. But if you're looking at the common European, you will not look at him as the model of anything coming out of Europe wearing bear skins and being uncivilized. Right. The civilized man of the ancient world at that particular time was black people. So your motif of what would be the Christ, even socially and physically, would still be a black man.
So you couldn't get away from that. And since we've understand it, and truthfully understand it, that's where it comes from. Even though it wasn't a man to say, well, no, he really wasn't white. He was black. Even in
even
idea.
Even in European motifs to this day, tall, dark, and handsome. Right. You see what I'm saying? And the black woman being the standard of beauty to even the bustle. And all of these things was created. The full lips. And the robust and buxom, because if you look at most of European image of what they call beauty up until the 20th century was a heavy-set woman. A sickness.
And that's all in their art.
A thickness, all in their art. Thickness. Even in the early part of the 20th century, when they had the first forms of pornography, and they showed white women nude, they all had full figures.
That's right. That's right.
They would be more on the test of, she would be the standard of beauty.
That's right.
Still
is.
Still are. There's some Twiggy by the 1970s,
exactly,
which is a fucking stick model and shit. Even if they're talking about a person that they're aspiring to be, you see, you know, because if you look at the Greeks and the Romans and stuff, they looked at the Ethiopians and even in the story of Muhammad, whether it be a mythology or true, whatever, they told Belial, go back to your home where men are never wrong, or something like that. And the excellency, even with Herodotus, who was a Greek historian, they looked up to the Egyptians and the Africans as the prototype of civilization and all that was illumined on the high end. So Jesus would have to come like that, because you're not talking about racism that we have now.
Right. So they ain't had no other choice.
There
was no such thing as any other choice to make a comparison.
Exactly.
That was it, and that's it.
Exactly.
That was it, and that's it.
You see, yeah.
All right,
and you got to understand this, the modern white folks. White folks don't like to be, even though they might appear in their nature to make you think that they are the standard, they always look not to be the standard, especially they look down on those who worship them. They like black people who don't give a fuck about them.
Right. Oh, they love it.
Now it's like a pretty woman. A pretty woman gets praised so much of being beautiful until she ends up with the man who don't give a shit about it. And you go like, what the fuck did she pick that motherfucker about? Because he did not give into the same shit. And so therefore that's what she was looking for. Well, the white people are that pretty woman.
Right. They
want to be held up, and they want to look as models for excellency other than themselves.
All right, so we getting towards the end of this Jesus motherfucker. But a couple more things with him. Jesus on Mount Olive.
We back.
The piles. Alright, so we stopped at Mount Olives before we took the last break, and we was going to go into the 12 apostles, the upper room, and we talked a little bit about the wine, the alchemy, the bodies, but the bread is, the bread, and why the Catholics give the bread and the wine at that ceremony, but ultimately,
Go ahead.
So ultimately the upper room, 12 apostles, and the bread and wine in that Catholic ceremony.
Okay, well start from one. Give me the
Okay, well, Jesus at Mount Olives. You know what I mean? A little quick thing.
Mount Olives.
Because I know it's going to run into what we've talked about, but just to put it down.
It seemed like everything. Oh, go ahead.
The olive oil, olives are green, and olives are black. The black in the olives is carbon, which is melanin. Green is chlorophyll, which is also a form of carbon, isn't it?
Melanin, right.
It's all a form of melanin, the black and the green. Osiris is called the green god, but Osiris is also called the god of the perfect black. So the Mount of Olives is the pinnacle of that, the apex, the zenith. Jesus of the Mount of Olives is still talking about the pineal gland and the final capstone,
Right.
or fountainhead. The final realization of the Mount of Olives. That's what it's talking about. Jesus was anointed with the olive oil. There's nothing talking about the highest form of the manifestation of melanin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the upper room with the 12
Upper room
apostles.
with the 12 apostles. You have 12 signs of the zodiac. You have 13th man. The 13th man is Horus or Jesus. Osiris was cut up into 13 pieces, wasn't it?
That's right.
14 pieces.
Right.
14 pieces. So how it goes is
It
this.
became 13 because
But 13 recovered. 13 recovered.
Yeah,
His
13
penis
pieces. It was
wasn't
14 pieces. The 14th piece was the penis. What is called a penis of God, pineal. Pineal, a pineal. There's 12 apostles, 12 signs of the zodiac. The 13th man is supposed to be Jesus. But his apex is the 14th. So you would have the third eye would be Jesus. The 14th piece would be the crown chakra. You see, it would be the crown chakra. So in so many words, the upper room, you got 12 signs of the zodiac that was shattered.
Like what you talked about yesterday.
And fragments. We can only incarnate into particles in fragmented house until we get back the final piece, which is in the middle of the zodiac, which is the 13th man. And the 13th man is the middle of the zodiac. There's 12 sections of the zodiac. But if you look at the complete circle, that would represent the entire 14th piece would be the complete circle.
Like that. Right.
So you got the sections of the damn umbrella. You got the middle of the umbrella. And then you got the 14th piece would be the umbrella of the whole. That's the whole crown chakra. You see what I'm saying? And with crown chakra and stuff like that. Yes, that's called the upper room. You see, in the upper room.
The crown chakra.
Crown chakra.
Got it. And okay, that's hot. The bread.
Now the 13 pieces are cut up of Osiris, and the 13 that's a fragmented dimensions of our psyche and our soul, and that's why we have to master all 12 houses to get that fragmented memory back.
Is that what you talk about when our information is also fragmented across the earth?
Yeah, exactly.
So bringing it back together,
bringing it back together.
Completion.
Exactly.
That's some real good shit.
Bringing it back together.
That's some real good shit.
It's like the movie Pirates of the Caribbean. Remember that thing? That's what they call, right? Pirates of the Caribbean. And how they had to get all them damn gold coins back
to one location.
Right. Yeah, right, to one location and stuff, so they could get the curse lifted off of them. You see what I'm saying? Which they were putrefied and dead. You see.
Still on earth. Right.
Yeah, still on earth. And if you notice, it was a guy and a woman that had to bring that back together. You see, so it was nothing but a retelling of the story of the dead. Especially when the motherfucker was walking on the bottom of the ocean.
Right,
that shit was bad, man. That shit
right, right.
And they got a part 2 coming out.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Part 2.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so that whole Catholicism thing, because that's big, you know, you eat the bread of Jesus, the body, and the wine.
And the wine and all of that type of thing. Hence the wine and all of that in the body of Jesus. That's this alchemical aspect of the blood of Jesus.
Jesus, right, what we talked about already.
Yeah, and the bread and stuff, which represents the physical body, the blood, it's the Eucharism or whatever. And it's basically, you know, that same. You know, it's the same thing, the blood of Jesus and all. These are symbolic ceremonies. It's also talking about the alchemical aspect that they don't never get to tell the people about.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so Jesus in the garden, Judah, what's the Judas? Kisses him.
Judas.
Kisses him.
Yeah, Judas.
And then he knows he's the one who betrayed him. Judas. Out of the 12 apostles, who does Judas represent?
This is interesting
Judas
because
kiss,
yeah.
the Judas kiss.
Or Jada kiss.
To identify him.
No. Yeah, no, son.
That entered my mind.
You know, it's interesting because there's a book called the Theosophia, the Hidden Dimensions of Christianity, and it's all talking about what they really Pope and them, their doctrine, what they really believe in. And in one particular aspect of that particular book, it goes into the text of Sophia coming down and kissing the soul and giving it thousands of kisses to identify itself. It's the same thing with the Judas kiss and stuff like that. On one hand, it's the story, philosophical story, to try to make it historical is one thing, but on the other hand, the Judas kiss is to identify himself as the Christ.
As that
it needs to be waken up.
Right.
So in the original story of Sophia, the goddess coming and kissing the soul. Each time she kisses the soul, it wakes the souls up and brings the soul back up. So remember now, after he's kissed, he's killed, which represents illumination. He dies on the cross and goes to the next realm.
The kiss of death.
The kiss of death,
right? Which
is the kiss of life. Because this is death. This is the world.
Right.
He was, and the other one is the kiss of life, and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, shit like that. This is like a basketball game. Now, I can't go wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that motherfucker in Vegas. The dealer, when he hot, he go, look, man, you might go to another table because you ain't gonna win nothing tonight.
I shall drive.
See, when that jumper is on,
it's
motherfucking on. And you gonna have to wait till the next game. Could be the next night, but the jumper's on and the jumper is on.
Alright, we touched on it, but basically I wrote this in the later part. It's like a little sidebar before we get to the Jesus is killed and resurrected thing.
Yeah.
We touched on this, but a little sidebar. I read something called Who's Who in Egyptian Mythology. And basically, when I got to the part about Set, they talk about the relationship of Set and Horus, and you already identified Set as Satan and Horus as Jesus. So there's a relationship, it seems, between Set and Horus. And it said the priesthood of Horus declared Set as unclean. And it also said Set, the enemy of Ra, and which makes me would ask you, is Ra our friend? Everybody's just loving this Ra. And it also said in the same book, Set and Horus are one, the secret of the two partners. And it also mentions that Nephthys as the goddess of darkness.
Yeah.
So in this one book, if you can go in a little bit, how this relationship goes out and all this.
It says Set the unclean.
Set the unclean.
Okay. The unclean spirit is not talking about whether you took a bath or not. Hygiene. Because everything down here is stank.
Yeah, right. On one level.
And stuff like that. See, where did it come from and why does it have to stink? If this produces the stink, then don't blame the stink. Blame the producer. This shit is all fucked up. And stink is only based on your perspective. Some people get turned on by that shit.
Right.
The white boys tell the white girl, you need to go run around the block a little bit before I eat the pussy.
Yeah,
Them crackers do that shit.
Right.
To me, I don't want to hear that shit, but
Right.
I know white boys say that. Look, this shit here, you got to soil this a little bit.
You need to run around the block and sit on the fire hydrant.
Right.
Yeah.
But then in alchemy, there's also something. In alchemy, there's also something called a realm of smell. You see, captured in a book called Black Goddess and the Unseen Real by Peter Redgrove and by Peter Redgrove. Very powerful book that somehow tends to be one of the most obscure books on the planet and stuff, as far as getting and stuff. But anyway, unclean was not talking about in the human sense or the social sense. The unclean it was talking about here is you have inside of creation, you have the energies and the essence is conducive to creation inside of a bubble. Anything that's outside of creation from the primordial realm is known as unclean. So the unclean spirits are the alien spirits, the Andromeda strain of unclean spirits and stuff. So in so many words, germs give you a concept of that. What could just be a particle or some type of existence outside of the body can be detrimental inside of the body. You know what I'm saying? We got some bleach, you see what I'm saying, in your cabinet, and it holds up. And you better do the call for that jihad, because the damn Hopi Indians said that there was a spiritual war that's going to come. There's going to be some spiritual elements that's going to tear up these physical people. And I said, based on that chronology of doom, I said, they said the jihad supposed to start at any time from 96 to the year 2000. I said, damn it, this shit's starting right now, and we call for the doggone jihad. Jihad. So, hell, it's on. The redemption. So, it's on and all. I don't want to hear, so every day, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm just saying, I ain't saying no July, I'm just saying, this is it, and up until that time, that's what I'm focusing on. Getting the hell up out of Dodge. Ain't no more knowledge coming down the pipe no more than we already know. And people, we can't give this shit away. We can't get this shit away. You see what I'm saying? We done went all the way up into the cosmos. We done went down from the cosmos to the small black dot and the mustard seed. So now it's ready to go. Give me some questions. It wasn't much in all. I guess because you could do numerology, you can do all kind of ways. 3 and 9, which is what? 12. 12 times 12 is 144, the key to the apocalypse. See what I'm saying? 12 times 12 is 144, the key to the apocalypse. You see.
3 times 13, opposite to 93.
That's right. 3 times 13, and opposite the 93. You saying right? 39. You see, so all of that particular thing that's going down. Something else I was gonna say, but anyway, it's a sign. It's a spiritual sign. You see, and I saying the time is now. The fucking time is now. The reason why the time is now is because the brother up in Florida kept saying that the urgency wasn't here yet. He was saying that back in 94 and 95. And it was bad. But now I'm telling you, man, it's bad, man. I mean, and not only that too, you can't get no enjoyment out of nothing now. You know what I'm saying? Really nothing. You can't drink, you can't, I didn't say do that shit, but you really can't get no enjoyment out of nothing. I play the records and the music don't even sound the same. It don't even sound the same now. The energy gone now. You know what I'm saying? The energy gone now and shit. You see?
When you
yeah.
Radio Friday talking about you calling for the jihad
right.
tonight, and then 4 days later they had the tornado.
Ooh.
In Texas, I got this one.
Hey, that's it. Put it out there. What's that?
I felt bad, but I got it. He called it.
Yeah, sure did. Right below Waco. Yep. Yeah, what's that?
How about you make a person replica of the United States for Operation Army?
Well, my point is that the Spirit came to me and said, whatever the gods think of is not, they're thinking that it's a concept, but it's a spiritual channel that your inner self is telling you to do. So your thoughts are actually the God thoughts telling you what to do. And the best thoughts of things, and the best ritual is also one that you make up too. Also. Just like North Dakota, South Dakota, and we seeing this shit happening now. Man, and it's just starting. And they ain't start, California ain't started, they burn up period. Hey. Yeah, but look at this. Like I said, they had to stop us from dancing. That's why every time a club would open up, clubs don't stay open for two years maximum. That's a good club. The clubs close down, that's because the government come in and seize the property and close them shits down, because when we get in there and party, and especially now in the 90s, it fucked them up. The energy fuck them up. You see what I'm saying? Can you imagine what happened if we just went out and had a mass party? See what's happening just now, just with nothing happening. Just think, man, shoot, it's killing them.
I was reading some information on the Nanticoke Indians, who are derivatives of the Moorish people. And one of their symbols on their thigh was a crescent with 7 stars at one time. Information.
Was it literally it was a group?
Yeah. They went to Maine and.
Yeah. In your book, Ice the Ultimate Disaster, Richard Newman. He chronicles and records a group of Egyptians in Maine speaking hieroglyphics in the 1800s. In the 1800s, he records a group of Egyptians in Maine speaking in hieroglyphics and stuff, and netta. So that's probably the same people. You know, yeah. And they also found a stone slab in Oklahoma with Akhenaten. We know evidence of this type of thing here, the lineage and stuff, even my name. It's in the Temple of Dendera, Hemmitt. And then I asked the question when my grandfather, before he died, and one on my father's side, where did the name came? He said, well, we came from Oklahoma. And then they went out to Los Angeles or whatever the type thing. So obviously, it's got some lineage to those particular people. Because it still say, where did you get this Hemmitt, which is Hemmitt in the Temple of Dendera and in the hieroglyphic dictionary. So my point here is we got Camite motifs and stuff, and black people were here, descendants of all that stuff for years and years. So it's got something to do with that, yeah.
It was a sister that was outset 5 on Christmas Eve of last year. She said about 7:30 or 7:45, her and her son and her daughter-in-law was going to pick up the daughter-in-law from the bus stop. And on the way back, all 3 of them looked up in the sky. It was a full moon ritual that was also the ritual of Anubis. And what she saw in the sky was a red light. And she said it was pulsating. She said well, she could never find nobody else that saw it. But when she got in the house, she came on a minstrel. And what channeled through her, she got this picture of this demon bleeding, and his demons coming out of the blood. So I just want you to just, if you heard anything or.
Yeah, well, that all coincides with the tsunami and also the blood of Kali. And the demons of Kali and all that kind of thing here in the bloods. All that stuff is coincides. There's an entity by the name of Marionette. She's a voodoo deity. a marionette, goddess of the moon. The owl is her sacred thing, and she's a form of Lilith. And she's a voodoo thing. You'll get it in the book, The Idiot's Guide to Voodoo, which is an excellent book. I got it over there, The Idiot's Guide to Voodoo. And there's a goddess in there called Marinette. And so the brother Rudra talked about it in her lecture, and then I got the ability through several people to pull down those entities, so I talked to her. And and she was like, I said, so what you want me to do some things? You don't want to put something on the altar for you? She said, no, I like to hang out outside. And I don't like motherfuckers telling me what to do. So, and she said, she was cool and all, but she's a real powerful entity. Real power in the form of Lilith, and there's the blood of Lilith and all that type of stuff. So there's these entities, forms of the Great Mother rising up. Rising up, yeah, so that's a part of that, yeah.
I have 2 things. One, speaking on your name, a lot of times it could be Hemmitt, because when you pronounce the K,
but they didn't have the H2 there. See, they had the H and the K.
right.
But so now I'm saying, no, literally it's translated Hemmitt, because they had the H and the K in Hemmitt. And so it's on the Temple of Denver, H-E-M-M-I-T. There's 3 names for it, H-E-M-M-I-T, H-E-M-M-M-E-T, Hemmitt, and Hemmitt. And it means a group of people that will live in the final days. Well, that shit came true. You see what I'm saying?
I want to ask you, what would you say is a good divination system, contact, options, all that?
The best divination system is one you make up yourself. So, how creative you get with the stuff that you get, that's the good stuff. But any of this previous stuff, remember now, people are doing this shit to death. And none of that stuff ain't working. None of that stuff don't work now. You see what I'm saying? None of that stuff don't work. Even when it comes to the traditional things, they are on a weak level, and in so many words, I don't care if you cut off chicken head and all that old shit, you still a clever form of religion, because they really can't have the power to really do what you really need, or otherwise the fucking Nigerians and them wouldn't be in the shape they into. See, all you got to do to get past the okie-doke and that old love for Africa is look at the condition of Africa. See what I'm saying? Look at the condition of goddamn Africa. And you will see that obviously that's not the end all to be all. You see what I'm saying? And over the years, the Yoruba and even the Voodoo over the years was a mystery system, and what you got now is basically a leftover fragment. They got a whole section that's been destroyed. You see what I'm saying? Yes, you see, so you sticking in that now, so what you're supposed to do is this. You're supposed to gather together every damn thing to get results. And what they trying to tell you is anything the Chinese motherfucker got, that's yours. If you leave that out, anything the East Indian got, that's yours. Anything the Native American got, that's yours. You see what I'm saying? And you're supposed to deal with all of it. And anybody that just basically fuck around with some more bullshit on the planet, on the continent that's left behind, you ain't doing shit. And then to let a damn thug-ass Nigerian of the nation, all these niggas come over here with that Yankee shit. It's just like, man, it's just like niggas from New York used to come down in the country, tell all them goddamn lies and shit. Old country ass nigga off my damn track buy that shit. You know what I'm saying? Nigga up there and shit like that and all, you know, talking all that shit. You know, so anybody can come and tell you some damn Yankee. It's the same shit with them old bastard ass priests that you damn laughing dog with. You see what I'm saying? Talking about, it's gonna cost you 5,000, this is 5,000. What I'm trying to tell you is even with them old bullshit ass gods,
You see what I'm saying? Tell that motherfucker I ain't gonna give you a stick of water. Fuck you. See what I'm saying? I ain't gonna give you shit. Why? Because you ain't getting it yet. Until you become the God, fuck them. See what I'm saying? So I ain't giving you shit. See what I'm saying? And when I get where you are, I'm gonna kick you in your ass. Because I done gave out too much money and shit. I ain't giving you no more cow's blood and all that shit. Find your own shit. Now the ones that work for you, now I know what I'm talking about, because the motherfucking God going to work with me, they get in touch with me. Why? Because I'm the motherfucker in charge now. Not them, me. First thing Urzuli came, she said, you my fucking favorite. You my favorite. When Lakshmi came, she said, I'm in love with you. I had a fight between mother and daughter in 2001. It's fighting like cats and dogs. Old Shum and damn Yemen, y'all. And it was fighting over me. See what I'm saying? Because I'm hula dula, the whole house ruler, with them gods. See what I'm saying? You think that's a crazy shit. No, they ain't in love with me because they understand my essence. Because I ain't worshiping them. See what I'm saying? And so there was a fight going on with a bunch of goddesses and me. Why? Because, hey, I figured this shit out. See what I'm saying? Y'all my honeys. So that's how this thing goes. You got to figure it out. The Africans and those particular people are still doing them old thing now, and the reason why they're in squalor and why the British is their daddies and they ain't running nothing is because they ain't figured it out yet that they're supposed to become the gods that guess what? That's over Oshun and them. They're subordinate deities. You're the real deity. See what I'm saying? So the God, come on man, you're a goddess. Would you want to go hang out with a motherfucker up under you? That ain't the black woman's way, no way. Black woman is just like y'all motherfuckers down here. They don't want to respect a motherfucker that's got something on the ball. See what I'm saying? As soon as the niggas start running behind them the wrong way, they go like, look nigga, you what you call a cake nigga, you too sweet. Same thing with them damn goddesses. They don't want no rooted nigga worshiping them. They want a nigga to be in love with. That's what this shit is about. See what I'm saying? So Urzuli came back, she said, man, I love you. You see what I'm saying? And that's what this shit is about, us becoming gods.
Okay. Yeah, first of all, the white boy is, first of all, the different beings that they talk about is not physical beings. Most of the beings, a lot of the beings other than just a small renegade is of the same essence that we are. You just have the physical body hiding that. There's a small renegade that is not that, but there's a very small one. But most of the brotherhood and most of that is the same people. It's one entity. They might have the ability to appear and look different. You see what I'm saying? But it's one entity. But a lot of the things on what they're doing are on 100,000 extraterrestrials. Well, my point is this here. Fuck all that. If there's 100,000 extraterrestrials, why we ain't seeing the goddamn shit? That lets you know it's some fake shit. So that's a lot of damn shit that the government is putting on this past life. Most of the extraterrestrial thing you're talking about is run by one people, the original God people. And the ones, those particular entities is nothing but our ancestors, as well as other beings that occupied other universes that's of the same damn origin. They all look the same in one unity.
Because in actuality, we don't even, that whole thing about this historical person, a lot of the iconology that you're getting on the heavy thing and all that is based on a mythological character, esoteric character, and it's trying to explain something also too. You see what I'm saying? So I recognize that particular part also too. But this hunger that we're talking about here, we're talking about this night hormone. So we're talking about here that you have to reverse everything. I've been on this dark side and I know it sounds familiar, but you got to understand. You have to understand this because on the other hand, on the New Age thing, they're telling the people about raising up and all this type of thing here, but also too, which we have to also to get into is, and I hit upon it the last time, is these chloramidians that they call it in Star Wars, they are also called Melusine, is one of the real names. Melusine, Muses, is the Greek name for it.
Yeah.
Sirens, mermaids, all these are terminologies for ancient civilizations that live on the inside of you. And basically, they become stronger and stronger as more of your people make it off the physical realm. So the white boy's damn if he does, damn if he doesn't. One minute he kills off all these people to try to stop this energy based on the conference in 1986 that told them that by the 1990s this Kundalini energy was raising in all the indigenous people, and in so many words they would not be able to live on the planet. As a result, they became down with more melanoma skin cancer. That melanoma skin cancer ain't coming from the goddamn sun out there, it's coming from your energy. And your energy is killing them.
Yeah.
So they had to limit the amount of indigenous people on the planet. So that's why they started killing the thing off. But on the other hand, it's a catch-22. Meanwhile, once they get a certain amount of people out of the physical body, your physical body becomes stronger because they become living you, and your glorified spirit becomes even stronger because it wasn't that many in the beginning in the first place. As far as these the original ones that seeded the planet. Even in the physical. The key is they're literally in trying to rectify something that's coming on to sustain their existence. They're actually speeding this shit up because that means that's the reason why they can't kill you now, because your energy is stronger because you have more of the ancestors that came before you. They talk about that in even Amistad. Well, these principles are metaphysical, and you go and see the movie Highlander, even on the first one, he said, well, what are we supposed to do? He said, we're supposed to be immortal and go through time until there's only a few of us left. And then we will have the gathering.
Yeah.
The gathering is taking place as we're dealing with right now. Number one is taking place with the masses of people on the East Coast. And as you go out west, it gets a little weaker, but still yet you got the ones that still spread out there because they tell you that's Hollywood. You know, the conscious niggas out there is really catching hell if you think these fools out here is bad. You see, but my point is, there's only a few of us in the United States and throughout the Caribbean. And as you go to Africa, it gets even smaller. You see what I'm saying? But the key here is, that is on one aspect, that is the physical gathering of consciousness. On the other one, there's a spiritual gathering of the energies of the original ancestors that does not share the body anymore, that's inside of you because they're broken the reincarnation cycle and they found a way out by staying in the ones that's down here. So they come and live inside of you. Meanwhile, this particular energy is stronger and stronger and stronger. You understand what I'm saying? The key is we have to understand what side we are on. We are the Asuras, which are the ones that is created by the night. That's why you have the Osirian thing. That's why you have the black dog Anubis, Anpu, and we're nocturnal beings because in our ancient mythology we always share the mythology with the underworld. You always see the underworld in our thing. And ultimately, the underworld is the deepest part of our own subconscious.
We should be doing libations every day then.
I used to. But then there becomes a time when you literally, when I used to ask, how do we meditate? And they used to go, every day of your waking life. And I said, I wouldn't get nothing done. Shit, I would be out on the street meditating. And then I realized what they were talking about. They were talking about a conscious thought process.
Continuously.
Yeah, take for instance, like I got a friend down there, man. He be, the entities come and they write, and he writes all these pages and pages of this ancient shit that he can't decipher. And although he thought it was just great and all, I say, well,
That's the word.
the hell with that shit, and you can't read it. I mean, goddamn, all that shit there. And he could just be talking, and then it just come, and he just start writing. So he was thinking in actuality that he was on a higher level of energy, but he wasn't. Because at first I said, well, shit, why that shit ain't happening to me? But then I figured out what was going on. We got the same energy, it's just that mine is focused and harnessed to a degree that is becoming pure thought. That's how I get all this stuff. Whereas his stuff is coming and it's affecting his physical body. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas mine comes through channel and spiritual knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas his is a whole bunch of energy that's wild. It's scattered because it's not concentrated. And what is the key pillar that concentrates all that is the penis, but not the penis down here, which we both have, clitoris, dick, all the same.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the physical thing, I'm talking about the penis of God.
Yeah.
But this is the thing about the woman. The pineal gland, which is no bigger than a grain of corn, resembles the clitoris than it does. Our head is an elongated, bigger version of the same penis, the head of our penis, but the pineal in the brain is almost identical to the clitoris of the woman. Like, take for instance, this particular goat, it turns around, but I want to show you this. I got this shit on backwards. No wonder it's turning around. This Baphomet goat, this particular goat, which is the goat with the two horns. But when you turn this thing around, this way, it becomes the reproductive organ in the woman. When you turn it around, the same thing with this becomes the reproductive organs in the woman. And not only that too, you'll see symbols of the goddess with her hands up like this. That's still talking about the same reproductive system, as well as in ancient Greece and ancient Egypt, they used to have pots with two handles. You was a wire to turn the water, know that represented also the womb. You see what I'm saying? The reproductive system of the woman. But on the other hand, the pineal is almost identical to the clitoris more than it is the penis. But we're still talking like that's a representation of it also too. As a matter of fact, in the Rig Veda, you're going to have a god named Rudra. And Rudra also hangs out in the pine forest. That's the pineal. In Greek, the pine is a god called Thyros. That's also the pineal. In other ancient cultures, the head of the mushroom, which is also the penis, represents the pineal. You see what I'm saying? Represents the pineal. So that particular part also. The Jehovah's Witnesses had a prophecy that they read the wrong way. The prophecy said that the world would end in 1975. And as a result, the Jehovah's Witnesses was going around, and so what happened was going around preaching this stuff, 72, 73. Anybody remember this? They was preaching that the world was going to end in 1975. When the world didn't end in 1975, it completely destroyed the Jehovah's Witnesses. They just become a little ragtag group that go around knocking on your doors, wearing the hell out of you on Saturdays. But
The prophecy that they had, the United States government picked up on it. They had a couple of occult groups, and these occult groups got a transmission in 1975 from a group of people called UMO, the destination of the wolf. And it said the destination of the wolf. The wolf was the pale fox, but the wolf also represented Anubis, any kind of dog. Because remember, dogs originally came from wolves. There was wolves, and then there was dogs that was domesticated out of wolves. So the destination of the wolf, that's the liking, or the liking. Anybody saw the last time in the world? You better recognize this on video yet? That shit wasn't nothing about slavery and the slave master. They let it all be out in this last one. And they had a black man that they made immortal, which meant that he was returning back to his old self. The wolf represents Anubis, and Anubis is called Anu, Anunnaki. The return of the Anunnaki. And the Anunnaki is up. Anunnaki, Anpu, Anubis, dog, the wolf. So they said there was a group called UMO, U-M-M-O, the destination of the wolf. And UMO translated E-M-M-E-Y-A, Yemenia. That was in 1975. And they said it was an extraterrestrial government that will rule the earth in the future. Well, that extraterrestrial government is the Anunnaki, and the Anunnaki is Anubis, and Anubis is a black and gold dog, which represents melanin, and it's talking about your ancestors and you, and what's happening on the inside of you. You are the Anunnaki. You are the Umo. You are the Imi returning. You are the Nomo. So they returned in 2007. They returned in the fall of 2007 as a group called OMOZ. O-M-O-Z. Yeah, O-M-O-Z. Which was Osiris, Mayat, Owatala, and Zarabanda. Zarabanda is Palo, Owatala is Yoruba, which represents West Africa and the Western Hemisphere. Mayat is Egyptian or Camite, and Osiris is Egyptian Camite. OMOZ, O-M-O-Z, which is the word Umo that they got in 1975, they mistranslated, or either they didn't give them the right word, was OMOZ in 2007, the extraterrestrial government. Now let's break this down so that you understand how this thing happened. Y'all all right? Okay, let's break this down.
They tried to kill me on my birthday. So, my business partner, her birthday was on the 21st of November. So I said, well, shoot, we go. See, what it is, one day we stumbled into the Confederate graveyard in Atlanta. The Confederate graveyard, and we stumbled up in there. We was walking around, she said, man, there's something spiritual up in here. She said, I'm feeling some energy that's out of this world. So I was thinking it was all white people. I said, well, they got the hell of architecture. All they have is these temples, obelisks, all this Egyptian shit. Whole Masonic section, whole goddamn Jewish section with stars with David and all this Hebrew shit. I said, well, this shit, the crackers ain't gonna be very fucked up. They gonna be hooked up. We'd be up in there with an old tombstone and some old flowers and some old plastic-ass flowers and some walls. Them motherfuckers should be mausoleums. They going damn crypts and tombs and shit. They should be hooked up right down here and stuff here. You know, you want to go to Egypt, go to one of these real deal graveyards, these crackers got to see what they should be laid out. So, they had one cracker built on his grave for 20 years before he even died. That motherfucker was a badass statue. Shit, before he died, he knew how his shit was before he died. So, we was up in there, and I said, damn, the energy, she said, the energy is powerful up in here. So I said, well, I said, our birthday coming up. I said, you gonna see. So what happened was, I was flying out to Houston, so, you know, I called her on the text and all that stuff, and she said, look, she said, I changed when I went up in that graveyard. So she got on the internet, it's called Oakland Cemetery. And come to find out they had a black section. I said, well, maybe that's it. So we went out there on her birthday, we went to the office, and there was a brother working up in there in his early 40s. And the brother said, you know, we got 12,000 black bodies, slaves up in this mother. Now, this is the key. Remember, you think of the damn antidote South because we only got in contact with them poor crackers. You don't understand that rich crackers are the motherfuckers that own slaves. Now, this is the key. Remember, you think of the damn antidote South because we only got in contact with them poor crackers. You don't understand that rich crackers are the motherfuckers that own slaves. They came over there, they had money. They was the aristocrats that had money, so they was all into the Masonic shit. And so what it was customary that when they died, when the slaves died, they would bury so many slaves with them. That way they could get to the other side. It's almost like that Anubis thing. These crackers were hooked up. So what happened was they had a whole row called the Slaves Row. And then years later, after the Confederates and all that slave shit, some of the crackers complained and they took all the bodies and put them in the back of the graveyard. So the brother told us, he said there was 12,000 black bodies up in there. And I said, damn, 12,000 bodies. So we went up in there and we did a little ritual on her birthday. So, about, my birthday was the next week. So I said, well, we're going to come back. I said shit on the phone. Well, we're going to come back and we're going to really get down. So we came back and we did a ritual. I gave out the tarot cards. We had everything. Incense burning, the babies, the voodoo and stuff, everything. So apparently, you know, this is my phone shit. You want to get a you want to get a damn message to the president, just call my damn house. I ain't shit, my shit full. I ain't paid my damn my phone bill in damn 4 months. My shit ain't been cut off yet. That shit work when your shit full. And I told him, I said, hey now, I got some real deal shit going down. I want some real spiritual breakthroughs. So if you motherfuckers don't want to be privy to what I'm doing, y'all better not fuck around and cut my phone off. You goddamn right. Everybody call my house and say, your shit be clicking and shit like that. And somebody said, damn, ever since I called your house, my shit been bull. I said, you're going to get a president, the damn Bush, you know, letter to Drew Marley, just call my damn house. So I was trying and on. So we last time got up in the graveyard and we started doing the ritual. I was doing this invocation and hey, Roo Harley. And then we look at it, was a big old green helicopter came by. Big army shit when they put the bodies on. And then they came by and two other ones came by, 3 side by side. And they came and they got low, they got real low. And so we was doing it, and she said, and so we was doing it, I started doing it, and they swooped down and they got in attack formation on the side of us. Because side by side they could shoot each other. And they had the doors open. And she said, shit, they could kill us right now. And they got down low. And I just kept on doing the damn ritual. Well, apparently, they must have saw something. Because it scared the damn shit out of them. Because they came down real low, they had the doors open, they circled twice. They made sure they did a glimpse and then they left. So at first you start thinking, well, maybe that might have not been the way it was. I said, no, them motherfuckers came after us. Because they waited as soon as we got up in here. So to add insult to injury, when I got home, they said, we're going to get this motherfucker when he get home. Because obviously there's something in that graveyard. So when I got home, whatever it was in the damn graveyard, followed my ass home. Because when I got home, they were sitting over my fucking house. And they circled, I said, oh yeah, there's motherfuckers trying to take a nigga out. You know, and whatever they saw scared the damn shit out of them. Scared the shit out of them. So, I knew that I was on to some stuff when that happened. Now, this is what happened. Now, to let you know that this shit is authentic, because I don't even really talk about this whole UFO thing. And you know, I talked about that earlier. They're not stuff like this and all. But I do say that the UFOs are not no physical UFOs. Those are man-made UFOs from 1947. But they're spiritual UFOs, which is angelic hosts. They're a whole nother apparatus. I do talk about that. Even Pat Robertson told them that when damn Independence Day came out. That's where I can say, he said, yes, they are UFOs. He said, but they ain't physical, they spiritual. The physical ones is man-made UFOs from 1947 on into now. You see what I'm saying? Now, these are spiritual ones. So, to add validity to what I'm talking about, I got it on tape. That way no motherfucker don't have to say that nigga that lying. I got the shit on tape. I was up in New York in 1994 at the Slave Theater in Harlem. And I told them that after they get out of the Slave Theater, a damn UFO was going to visit them. Now I'm up in Harlem, USA, in Brooklyn. Whereas this is scholarly, scholastic, and professional suicide. If a UFO don't show up, I would never be able to live down fucking New York City. They gonna talk about a nigga for 40 years. Right. And that was 1994. So apparently one show, I told them there was gonna be a UFO gonna show up in front of the Slave Theater. And when we got outside, there was about 40 of them left. And we got outside, wasn't shit up in the damn sky. I said, just hold on. And sure enough, one came from down the damn street and pulled up right in front of the goddamn Slave Theater. And we got a tape the next damn day, the next 2 nights in Harlem where everybody in the audience was being witness. Damn shit happened. Then I got a tape when I went back in February, there was 2 niggas up in there who was bad witness had remembered the fucking night. You see. But it was a pulse, it was a light that used to follow me everywhere I went. Everywhere I went, inside the car, every damn way. So one night, our car got, wrecked. Me and Ginger. And while I was standing at the bus stop with bags of fucking groceries. And I look up at the damn ships beaming around, pretty colors and shit. And I'm like, y'all bastards can at least take a nigga home. You ain't got to take a motherfucker to Mars, but you can at least take a nigga to Cascade Road. I said, shit, y'all police taking, you ain't got to take me to Mars, Sirius, Jupiter, Neptune, but you can take a nigga to Cascade Road. Take my ass home. We on the bus line. So, then about a year later, they disappeared on my ass. From 1997, I ain't seen them at all. And then, I was in Cleveland, right before Christmas, in October, the end of October. Was in Cleveland, and then I looked up, we did the lecture, and right after the lecture, he got a little shit, right? I said, God damn, what the hell your black ass man? So I had this other sister, I gave her a call, psychic sister. I said, what's going on? They said, well, we here to protect you. I said, well, damn, but the fuck you been for goddamn 4 years? Shit. They was like, we was there, we just went invisible, who was always there. So apparently what the people saw in the graveyards, they saw this shit that's going on and stuff. They saw this thing. So I'm saying there's stuff that's just out there. They even they even prophesied, but people want to look up in the damn sky and study the damn sky. In the last days, they'll be so fucked up and stuff. All kind of shit be going on out there. They never look up in the sky. Because the first thing you do when you look up in the sky, suddenly you be like, what the fuck you doing looking up in the sky? You crazy or something? Yeah. I done had that shit happen to me, but hey, you look up in the sky. But this thing I got so bad, I was at the damn bus stop whistling, and the motherfucker got pissed. What you doing whistling, man? This ain't no young boy, it's an old ass nigga. It's got so bad to the motherfucker can't be happy no more. I was infringing upon his agony You the motherfucker used to whistle all the time. You was whistling and tap dancing. I said, damn, this is a bad day when a old ass bastard like you. You can't get with a nigga whistling. This is the end of the world here. Now, going on. All right. Now, let's deal with what's going on here. What's going down here. I've been talking about this for the longest, of this black hole. In the November 1988 Discover magazine. And we believe that the reason why they had to even put the election on hold, because they knew that this shit was coming from the area of Sagittarius, and they knew that they had to put this thing on the hold. Now,